What you may find beautiful and appealing may not do it for someone else. Maybe it's personal preference, or maybe it's the culture we grow up in. Let's take a look at some unusual beauty standards from around the world. Number 10. The supermodel look. When you think of the supermodel look, what do you think of? Victoria's Secret angels? 90s supermodels like Cindy Crawford, Naomi Campbell, Kate Moss? Or today's models like Kendall Jenner or Gigi Hadid? So listing these names, you think, okay, so beautiful face, long legs, super thin. There are many who aspire to be a supermodel and try to transform themselves pretty drastically. These glamour models are meant to be shown as the peak women of the world. If you think about some of the biggest names in movies and TV shows, some of them are treated like models in the sense that they have the perfect look, no matter what, and thus people, especially women, should aspire to be them. Yet, that's not how things work at all. As any of those models will tell you, it can sometimes take hours to get their looks perfect for the runway, a premiere, or something else they're doing. It can be exhausting, and just as important, sometimes they will look totally different without all the makeup. Dove showed in a legendary ad that focused on the real beauty of a person by showcasing how a model is all done up for a billboard ad promoting beauty products. Many youth will go through extreme lengths to try and become the models they see on TV or in movies or on Instagram, which is a big problem when some of them are quite literally doing the most with surgery or starving themselves. It's a pretty bad trend to try and transform yourself to look like these stars. And finally, and arguably most importantly, just because someone looks dashing or stunning on TV or on Instagram, it doesn't mean diddly squat. They're paid to look stunning. They're paid to look like $1 million. Don't beat yourself up for not being born into that kind of life. The notion that people all around the world want to date supermodels or perfect-looking people isn't just unusual, it's a way of thinking that needs to change. Because as life will happily show you, not everyone looks like a supermodel, and that's perfectly fine. Be yourself. You are beautiful. Number 9. Fair skin. Depending on where you are in the world, you will find different opinions on porcelain or fair skin. For example, in the United States, most people would agree that being tan is the trendy thing to be, especially in popular cities by beaches like LA and Miami. If you're in East Asia, though, it's another story entirely. The people there are universally praised for their porcelain skin, to the extent that the desire to have that very special shade has driven South Korean beauty products through the roof. It's not uncommon to find people fully dressed on beaches, or wearing full-face masks in the sun, or carrying around umbrellas on bright days. Women in particular at times go to extreme lengths to achieve pale skin, through melanin-reducing injections or obsessive whitening skincare routines. But where did this beauty standard come from? Why do they want this porcelain shade? That goes back to the history of the country. At one point in time, it was considered a lower-class symbol to have tanned skin, which drove many to try and not have that, and thus not be branded a lower-class citizen. Number 8. France's jolie laide concept. Media would paint the look of French people in a way that would conscribe the notion of being from Paris, the city of love. And so you'd expect a certain look. Leave it to the French to devise a concept of beauty so abstract, so nuanced, it defies logic entirely. Their rather refreshing phrase, jolie laide, literally translates as the contradiction, pretty ugly, or unconventional beauty. Now, obviously, that could mean a whole lot of things, so let's get into it. To break it down simply, it means that the people of France are encouraged to not just show their non-perfect looks, but to flaunt them. Love it. This goes beyond the idea of not wearing makeup, but more of a desire to show their quirks and things that would usually be covered up. You can be irregular and wonderful to look at. For example, freckles. If you have them, show them off by all means. It's very atypical, given the world's view on needing to look your best. But leave it to France to do a whole 180 and say, We don't need to be perfect to look beautiful. Number 7. Scarification. This particular one isn't just atypical, some may even find it a bit disturbing. But again, this may be because you grew up in a place that wouldn't think this is beautiful. But in Africa, the Karo tribe from Ethiopia and South Sudan's nomadic Dinka people believe in a beauty practice that can be referred to as scarification. They will mark the faces and even backs of their young to make images and symbols to signal that they have crossed over into adulthood. Usually, girls are marked with beautiful patterns and boys have 3 parallel lines. Just as interesting, the youth are expressly forbidden from crying or even flinching during their own scarification, since doing so would bring shame to the whole family. While it's no doubt intricate in how they can be scarred, it does raise a lot of questions about what this really does to a person. You can find a version of this on the character Killmonger in the movie Black Panther, with each of his scars representing a kill that he had achieved. Number 6. Crooked teeth. This particular one is a more recent trend, in Japan especially. As many cultures will tell you, having a perfect smile, in terms of both looks and whiteness of the teeth, are essential to having that perfect look. Whether it be celebrities, models, or anyone wanting to obtain a certain look, they'll go not just straighten out their teeth, but make them the perfect shade of white. But as if to counter that, young women in Japan are doing the opposite of that, with the process called yeba. They'll go to dentists and other professionals to get procedures done like surgery or braces to make their smiles crooked. It's not a complete crooked smile, to be clear. It's usually done to 1 or 2 teeth, but the result in their eyes is a smile that is not just not perfect, but one that will make them seem less intimidating and thus more attractive. Believe it or not, this trend has been spreading all over the world, including to America. Number 5. Brass neck. In the Kahenlawi tribe, who can be found in both Thailand and Burma, they have a most unusual way of showing beauty through the use of brass coils around their necks. It starts at around 5 years old. They go and wear brass coils on their necks that they add to as they grow older and taller. Eventually, as they reach adulthood, they'll find themselves with more and more coils, and their necks longer and longer. And this is the ideal woman for the tribe. A woman who indeed has a long neck that can fit all of these incredible coils. Now, as for whether this actually makes their necks longer, it may be part of an optical illusion, as the coils weigh down the shoulders, and so it could make you feel like your neck is longer. But regardless of that, the more rings you have on your neck, the more beautiful you are. Number 4. Tattooed face. Tattoos are done all over the world. It's a way to paint your body the way you want it and to tell a story. It can be done in a lot of different ways. The art of this goes back very far, including the early Polynesians who used chisels to put marks on the skin. The Maori tribe still used these older techniques as well as modern machines, which brings us to the beauty mark of a woman, or should we say, the bride. In regards to marriage material, it's stated that the Maori woman must have a beautiful and intricate tattoo on their face, but more specifically on their chin and lips. The better and bigger the tattoo, the better the bride she will be. Number 3. More is more. While there are many countries who believe that less is more when it comes to beauty, Russia is one of the many countries who believe that more is more. If a woman truly wants to be beautiful, they need to work for it, be willing to do all sorts of things to get it, and of course pay for it. Born in Russia, supermodel Irina Shayk has this to say about beauty back home. In my country, women spend a lot of time on beauty rituals and take very good care of themselves. Natural beauty is carefully cherished and is brought to perfection by makeup, clothes, and the unique combination of little things that are called personal charm. So much like many other things that Russia does, they'll go full tilt on things they want to see, and there's no doubt that many Russian women are known for their stunning looks, even if it took a lot of time, effort, and money to get it. Number 2. More to love. A constant struggle that many try to fight is the idea of being overweight. Whether it's America, Russia, Brazil, and many other countries, the idea of being anything but skinny is almost treated as a sin, even though it definitely isn't. But the standard is to be skinny and perfectly toned, unless you're in Mauritania and Nigeria in Africa, because they personally feel that a woman is more beautiful if she is overweight, which is definitely a stark contrast from how the rest of the world views things. Just as shocking, if a woman does decide to be slim, she's rarely sought after and is even encouraged by others to gain weight to up her status. It's good to see that certain cultures view women of many shapes and sizes as beautiful. And it's really great that recently the media is embracing curves. You are beautiful, no matter how much you weigh. Number 1. The nose plays. When considering beauty, most people will look at the face in general. The eyes, perhaps lower to the chest or the rear, but in Iran, a very interesting trend has been there for a long time, and it's about having the perfect nose. Iran has been ranked one of the top countries with the number of rhinoplasty cases, aka nose jobs. It has been estimated that as many as 2 million Iranians, mostly women, go to cosmetic surgeons each year to get the perfect nose. Both men and women in Iran don't just strive to get a nose job to have the perfect nose, but they flaunt the bandages of the operation to show that they got it. Why? There, the nose is a status symbol. The better nose you have, the better you are, and the more attractive you are. As a pair of thieves once said, the nose plays. Again, I would just like to say to whoever is watching this, you are beautiful just the way you are. True beauty comes from the inside. Be yourself. Thanks for watching. What did you think of some of these beauty standards from around the world? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!